You're recording on Ustream.
I am recording on Ustream, and I'm also recording on the podcast
You're recording
machine.
Sound on the podcast machine?
Is the Walkman going?
The Walkman is going.
We're going to make you a mixtape, Michelle.
What about the DAT recorder?
No DAT recorders here. That would be.
And remember title ideas, folks.
We don't need title options.
Yeah, sauerkraut, kraut, and mustard on your Frankfurter.
Yes. All right.
All right.
So, Craig, I start the clock when you start talking.
All right. Coming up on Roundabout, a very special episode recapping the 2011 Frankfurt Motor Show. We're going to cover a whopping 60 vehicles in just 90 minutes, or die trying. And the timer started when I did. That means we have exactly 89 minutes and 44 seconds to get it done. Plus, we're going to have fireworks, 3 kinds of ice cream, and even a bear on a motorcycle. So stay tuned. Roundabout is sponsored by Advance Auto Parts. Visit our website, roundaboutshow.com, to get up to $30 off your next purchase.
In Scrum-Trelescent, Livonia, Mishigawa, dealing with a serious case of jet lag and a hangover. I'm Stephen Ewing from Autoblog.
Coming at you from Irvine, California, I'm Miss Auto by Mouth, Michelle Naranjo.
From Bad Album, I'm Mirko Reinhardt from theautobird.com.
In Dearborn, Michigan, I'm Eric Tritko from rumblestrip.net.
I'm your host and chief executive timekeeper, Craig Cole.
And I'm producer Ben Sanders.
This is Roundabout.
Question mark?
Himself.
This is Roundabout, but
Go, Michelle.
Wait, I'm sorry, my page just closed.
Welcome to Roundabout, episode 97, our weekly chat covering car culture, vehicle reviews, and some of the auto news you may have missed.
Well, that was going great.
It was, and I accidentally clicked off the window and it went behind my...
Oh, my dear Lord. Well, we can't waste time.
There are no edit points. There are no edit points.
Ben gets a free weekend, no editing.
Ish.
He's ramrodding this idea through the Senate here. But we've got a great show planned, getting to... all the cars that we can, 60 of them in 90 minutes. Frankfurt Motor Show, the IAA, just, I guess, it's pretty much done. Press days anyway, so I guess you could say the future comes as standard.
the future comes as standard.
At least according to their website. But, you know, so we're going to try to get through this here, hour and a half. The clock is ticking. I'm running my mouth, and so is it. But before we get cracking, we got to thank our good friends at Autoblog, of which Stephen Ewing is the representative tonight. They put together what is really an awesome list recapping, I guess, all of the vehicles that were shown off in Frankfurt. So we thank you guys for that.
We had
made our jobs
total.
easy.
75. So yes, all we had to do was go there and click that on, and just it was like an all-you-can-eat buffet. You just fill your plate.
Full of Frankfurt.
So Eric, I believe you've got the first vehicle on the list. What's going on? What have you got?
This is the Radical SR3 SL, which has been on sale for some time in Europe. You can't really get them here. It's a, in air quotes, street car, but is really more of a track toy that's fairly reasonable. It looks, if you're not familiar with the Radical, it looks a lot like an ALMS car, or American Le Mans Series prototype car.
It's tiny.
And you can get a bunch of different engine options in it, everything from like a Hayabusa motorcycle engine to I think you can even get a supercharged 4-cylinder in it. They are very, very quick. Don't ask me what the Nürburgring time is, but it has said it, and it was quick.
I'm sure it was 3 minutes. But Mirko Reinhardt, you are next.
Yes, the second car is the Mercedes-Benz Viano Vision Pearl. And what it is, it's a German plumber's van dipped in matte silver paint with a nice stereo and a lot of leather. That's what I see in it.
It's a Euro minivan.
Mm-hmm. It's larger than the minivan, smaller than the Sprinter, and
that's kind of nice.
Yeah, it's kind of nice and kind of
not nice.
Quite there.
I like the paint though. The matte paint looks sweet.
Yes, looked sweet in real life too. A lot of the cars on the Mercedes booth were matte silver.
Jumping on that fad, both feet. I've got the next vehicle on the list, the 2012 Fiat Panda, a little city-sized car. This is the next generation of it. I think they've made it a little bit bigger, so that's nice. Apparently, if I remember, it's got all-wheel drive as an option too, so you can, I guess you could take it off-road. It's powered by a pair. You get 2 engine choices of Fiat's new twin-air engines. Both of them are gasoline. One has 68 horsepower. The turbo model, 83.
Yeah.
But still, that's pretty awesome. A 1.2-liter a 2-cylinder engine, unheard of. And those things, I've seen a few videos of them on YouTube. They sound pretty cool as well, almost like a motorcycle. And the thing I love, the picture you guys posted on Autoblog, the chick standing next to it, she looks so pissed off.
Oh, yeah.
She's like, "Why? I am much prettier than having to stand at the Fiat booth."
She was like, how dare I represent Panda?
The Panda city car? No.
I
Michelle?
thought it was
Looks like
I thought it was a
Take
requirement
pictures
that all
of
models at the
Ferrari.
German auto show had to look pissed off.
I don't know.
Because they haven't eaten in weeks.
They haven't eaten since Paris.
Right.
Now that's funny right there.
That's what they do. This is how auto show models work, is once they're done with the show, they get a big meal, and then they can't eat till the next show.
Tides them over, yeah. But Michelle, you've got something nicer than a Panda, and it's less endangered.
I do. It's the 2012 Mercedes-Benz SLK 55 AMG, and honestly, this looks a little bit like a 3 Series BMW to me. But it's a very fast little scooter
Little
booter.
bugger.
Booger. It'll go 60 miles per hour in 4.5 seconds, but they put a limiter on it at 155 miles an hour.
I
It's
thought you were
gonna
going to
come
say
out with
it only went 60 miles an hour.
Well, it only goes
That's
60
what I
miles an
said.
hour.
Is this car show?
What now?
Oh, dear.
Is it a car show? Anyway, it has a retractable hardtop and a Magic Sky Control sunroof panel, so it's quite fancy. It's only a 2-seater. It's cute.
It's also
Very
in
nice.
that same sort of matte silver as the Mercedes Viano that Mirko just talked about.
Viagra?
Yes.
Yeah,
You did. Yes.
very cool.
All right, what have you got, Steve?
I have one of the hottest cars on display at the show, the 2012 Ferrari 458 Spider, which is the gorgeous new 458 Italia with the roof cut off. But what's kind of cool about the way Ferrari did the design is if you walked up to this with the roof still on it, you would think it was the coupe. It's that fluid. It's that good looking.
Fluidic sculpture, you could
Fluidic
say.
sculpture without the
Ugliness.
Hyundai-ness.
Yeah.
Well, they're not ugly. They're cute.
I'm being facetious.
This, though, is it's absolutely gorgeous from every angle. It's everything we've grown to love about the 458 so far. The same 4.5-liter V8, 562 horsepower, but all of that with the wind in your hair, and you can hear that engine right behind you. It's it's awesome.
Yeah, Eric, you've got a premium car as well. Equally
Yeah.
red and
Yes.
gorgeous.
Equally as expensive as well. Since Aston Martin is trying to milk as much life as it can out of its current platforms, we now have the next special edition of the DBS Carbon, available in any color you would like. And we literally mean, literally, any color you like.
Literal.
Just bring them a sample, they'll make it that color. Now,
So Ben could sweep up some cat hair from the corner of his bathroom, take it in, and say, "I need this color."
It could be
Yes.
tabby colors.
This is
I want
Watson
my car
colored car.
plaid.
For my dad.
Now, for this special edition, it will cost slightly more than the $250,000 it usually gets you for a DBS. This one will be $288,000 for the coupe, or a mere $303,000 for the convertible.
Pretty reasonable then. Pretty reasonable.
Wait, they charge you more for less top.
Isn't that how
Yes.
bathing suits work, Michelle?
I think so.
Opel Zafira. What's that?
The Opel Zafira has been the first in this C-segment minivan segment that's really popular in Europe. So today everybody has one, but Opel was the first to make something in that class with 7 seats and really clever folding anything. And now the third generation Zafira is a bit larger than the model it replaces.
It's got that sort of Ampera front end to it.
Yeah, I was going to say, is
This
everything with Opel going to
Saber
start
2
having that?
Well, yes, it looks a bit like one of the guys from Kiss.
Yeah.
Maybe, but I think it looks good. The interior is similar to the Meriva, the smaller one, and I think it looks good.
But no suicide doors. I'm sad.
No suicide.
No suicide doors, no sliding anything, no gold ring doors.
It's still cool though.
Sorry. Yeah.
It's bullpucky.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next
Make
up.
a nice Buick.
Next up, we've got the Suzuki Swift, which is a
Swift Sport.
Swift Sport
Swift
with
Sport.
134 horses powers. Supposedly going up against other, small cars and the like. But Stephen J. Ewing wrote this one. That's pretty
That's
interesting. Yeah, who is this guy?
I don't know.
134 horsepower, 118 pound-feet of torque. Goes after Stephen's beloved Mazda 2.
Mm-hmm.
Is it cuter than the 2?
Nothing's cuter than the 2.
Not even Michelle?
Michelle's cuter than
Okay.
the 2.
Well, let's
That
get
little
things clear.
Fiat's cuter than the 2.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, you just like driving the 2. Suzuki Swift Sport rides on 17-inch wheels, and it'll probably never come to the U.S. So there you go.
Sad face.
We got a B class.
We do have a B class. We have the 2012
B section.
Mercedes B class, which won't be coming to the U.S. anytime soon, I don't believe, but it is a little
it will.
hatchback.
Yeah, it's
Eventually, but
It's coming onto it here.
how
Yeah.
soon?
Like next year or something, we're getting the B class. We're getting this B class.
Really? Because Mr. Ramsey said another couple of years.
Oh, that's right. It is another couple of years, but we're getting this B class.
Well, he's full
Right.
of you know
that's
what.
what I was
Ben.
saying. It was anyway. Anyway, this
sorry.
little thing gets anywhere from 122 horsepower for one of its little models to 156 horsepower. So it's it's a little putt, and it's kind of cute. There's a typo in there.
Uh-oh, someone was hungover when they're doing that.
Oh, dear.
But we've
Minutia.
also
What do we figure?
Minutia.
$45,000?
pricing
Probably.
expensive. It's got
Mhm.
that chicken foot on the grill. So, you know. Steven, you've got a vehicle that's a little bit old news.
We've seen this many
How
times.
many times now?
This is the 5th time now we've seen the Toyota FT86.
Let's call it the Thunderbird.
Right, because the first time we saw it was at the 09 Tokyo show. Then we saw the FT86-2 in Geneva, along with the Subaru chassis and engine version. And then we saw the Scion FRS at New York this year, and now they brought the FT86-2 back again with some Brembos.
I have a question.
Yes.
When are we going to see a Lexus version?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Los Angeles Auto Show.
Yeah.
Shut up, with like LA or something.
Yeah.
But
Right.
we've seen this thing. It's old news. But it's red now.
Wasn't it
Is
always
there
red?
anything different
No, it
about
was-
this?
No,
Wow.
really,
The
no.
Scion one
So-
was red. I saw it in
yeah.
New York.
Why did I don't understand?
Just to
I mean, they
remind-
decided that the production one would be a Scion, right?
Mhm.
And now they're showing it as a Toyota again.
Maybe for Europe.
Okay.
Toyota just.
I
No
don't know.
sign in Europe.
All right.
Okay, got you.
What do we got next? Eric, I had a Fiat. You've got one too.
Yes, this one is the Punto.
Mm-hmm.
And this is it's not all new. Looks like to be a mid-cycle refresh. They are trying to upgrade a little bit the interior, so it's not so cheap. And it will have, of course, the ubiquitous 900cc two-cylinder multi-jet or twin air motor in it, along with some diesel. And will supposedly get 69 miles to the gallon on Europe's combined test cycle.
Amazing.
Which would be about 50 here in the U.S., I guess.
Yeah. Very nice. Little boxy, almost. Reminds me of a Suzuki Swift. Or SX4, pardon me. Suzuki SX4.
The Punto is their C segment car, correct,
Yeah.
Marco?
It's a B segment car.
Oh, it's B segment.
like a Polo or Corsa.
Okay.
Same platform as the Opel Corsa.
Well, now you know. So that's
Do-do-do-do.
that's kind of a quirky product. And Merkel, you've got one. The French are always weird.
Yeah, I got the Peugeot 508 RXH, which is the 508 is the midsize car of Peugeot, and the RXH version is something they raised a bit, like an Audi Allroad, and put lots of LED lighting on. And they have an interesting drivetrain in it. A diesel engine is driving the front wheels through an automated manual with a single clutch. And an electric motor is driving the rear wheels. So you got four-wheel drive, diesel, hybrid, something from France.
Word here.
How are the Peugeots or the French cars in Europe perceived? Junk? Quality? What are their stance on that?
They are falling apart quickly.
That would be a good episode title if we didn't already have one. So I've got the next one, another maybe more fringe European automaker, one that's at least not mainstream, not offered in the U.S. anyway, the Seat, the IBL, which is curiously close to IBS. But it's I think this is a stunning design. Very clean, very sleek. Part of the Volkswagen empire, so it's probably built off a Jetta crumbling architecture or something. But I think this car, shown in red, is beautiful.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but this now means you have 75 minutes left.
Oh.
What means?
Now you have 74, 49, 48, 47,
So
46.
who's the actual keeper of time?
Who's
It's
interrupting me?
Tick tock.
So the IBL midsize sedan design. I think it's just design concept. I don't believe they have any intentions of building this thing as pretty as it is. How is it in person, Steven?
I didn't actually get a chance to see it, but funny story, I heard that on the Volkswagen Group night when they were bringing this car out, as they were taking it off stage, one of the garage door type apparatus that they have closed itself on the trunk, and a panel on the car just popped right off because it's a concept.
Yeah.
So they had to spend all night repairing the car to bring it back out on stage.
Jiminy Christmas. There's nothing you want to have happen on the eve of the big show.
No.
And,
Howie.
so, yes, we were talking about a car that we've seen several times before, Michelle, and you...
Well, speaking of a car that we have seen it for a couple of years now, is the R8 e-tron concept has now moved on to prototype stage, and so it's gonna, it's a little different from the normal R8. It has the carbon fiber vent hoods, vent on the hood, chrome slats in the front grills and rear bumper, and it will have its little quattro, electric going to each wheel, and it's supposed to do 150 miles in range.
Wow.
And it's cute.
It's
It has
gorgeous.
lip-ins.
It is cute.
Yeah.
I agree.
Staying with Audi, though.
Staying with Audi, they brought out it brought out a trio of S models. One of which is the big Granddaddy S8, which used to have the awesome Lamborghini sourced 5.2 liter V10, but now has a twin turbo 4 liter V8, which is all new, but which is still going to be pretty cool because twin turbo in the S8, it cranks out 520 horsepower and 479 pound-feet of torque. It's going to have quattro all-wheel drive, and it's got all the same amenities of an Audi A8
8-speed transmission,
which is just 8-speed transmission, every technological advancement you've ever heard of in your entire life, and more. And it's
saving the rainforest right now.
It is. It's saving the rainforest right now. It's amazing. This car actually
nursing baby pandas at the zoo.
It doesn't have exhaust fumes. Toyota Prii are what shoot out of its exhaust.
This car, stunning.
It's awesome. It's so cool.
If I didn't have to pay for the repairs when it was out of warranty, I would have one.
See, I wouldn't do the S8 though. There's a couple of other S models that we'll get to later in the program. I might talk about.
All right. Well, fair enough. Now, Eric, I do believe you've got the next car. What can you tell us about?
I do. And this would be one of the. It's funny because Stephen and I we talked about this last week. The Bentley Mulsanne is one of the great cars that's ever been made. And if you won the lottery, this would be very high on the list of something I'd have to buy. This is the executive edition, though. It's a concept car with a different interior, especially in the rear end, where it has about 7 different iPads that are available for you to use or view.
Is this the Ben edition?
It's the Ben Sanders edition.
They better be iPad 2s.
It's not just iPads. I thought it had an Apple Store.
Well, it does
come
come with a Mac Mini to quarterback all of your iPads. Yeah.
Thank
So
goodness.
it runs front row and everything, so you can watch all your videos and surf the internet. You've got 2 iPads in there with wireless keyboards so that you can do work back there. Very, very cool concept. They will build it to order. Oh, it also comes with a very special Tibaldi pen, which is a very, very, very nice Italian. What's the word I'm looking for?
Pen.
The style of pen. Well, the style of pen.
Wasserman?
Fountain pen?
Fountain pen. Thank you. That's what I was looking for. And if you go over to Tibaldi's website and look at them, you're like, but think of a Tibaldi pen much like you'd think a Panerai watch.
Yeah.
That's
nice.
the sort of price range. Yes.
Very nice. Well, we gotta take a seat now.
Yeah, another Seat. From concepts to reality. The Exeo is, Germans are obsessed with recycling, and so when Audi got a new A4 a few years ago, they just shipped all the old production lines to Spain, and did a bit of stuff to the front end and the rear end, and what used to be the old A4 is now the Seat Exeo, and that's refreshed old Audi A4 just got another refresh.
Oh god, you can see on the inside. It's like I look at this interior and all I can see is old A4, but with a Seat badge on the steering wheel.
It's so wrong, isn't it?
But what's different about the interior is the Exeo has the dashboard of the
Cabrio,
Audi A4 Cabrio with the round vents in the middle, so that's unique.
So it is different.
And,
Yeah, it's very different.
yeah. Still
So
a
they're
cool
making
car.
about-
I love that A4 body style.
And it has upgraded engines. It has the newer diesels and so on. So it's not all bad, and it's pretty cheap, and you can get a lot of cash on the hood.
I was gonna say, it
Leftovers.
must be a pretty
Yes.
profitable car since they didn't really have to pay for any new tooling, huh?
Right.
Yeah.
It's like an Econoline or a Panther. Anyway, over in Europe, I guess we've got the Camry here in the U.S. and North America, a very popular car.
We do.
I understand.
We do.
Apparently in Europe, the Toyota Avensis is their midsize offering, and got, I guess, a new one of those that was shown off. 17 and 18-inch wheels, 11-speaker audio system, 3D navigation system. That's interesting technology. Of course, diesel engines. You got to have those on the continent. And yeah, it's actually pretty stylish. Makes me wonder where Toyota North America went so horribly wrong with the new Camry.
It's not that bad.
Terribly wrong.
Okay.
But the Camry sells, and the Avensis,
Not so
Not
much.
so much.
not so much.
Well, you guys have compelling other offerings.
You've got lots of other good stuff. Here it's like, well, I didn't feel like the Camry, so I bought a Malibu.
Yeah. So enough about that. Moving right along. Abart.
Abart. Abart. I know, Abarth or whatever. Everybody says it differently, right? I brought out a trio of new little items. One being the 695 Competizione, based
What's a
on the Fiat
695 in Italian?
I don't know.
You tell us.
Just say 695, but use your hands.
695.
Exactly.
5, right. And then there's the 500 Cabrio Italia, which they called Abu Dhabi Blue, but I think that's one of my coworkers here calls it Jesus Blue. Because you go, Jesus, that's blue.
What does he have to do with this, Michelle?
I think it's funny. Jesus
Or
Blue.
she. Thank you.
And then, of course, a punto, all decorated up.
So what does the Abarth get you?
It's a trim package, and it's also a little speed package, isn't it?
Ooh. Now, Mirko, did those catch your eye? You recently purchased a new vehicle for yourself. Did any Abarth models catch your eye?
Like today?
I'll take that as a no, because we're running out of time.
No, not really.
Thanks for wasting my time, Mirko.
I saw that there was a silver Fiat with 695 on it on the same spot as 2 years ago. There was a red one, so they didn't even change the spot in the booth they put it.
That works.
Only all the part of the booth that was Dodge and Chrysler last time was now all Lancia.
Oh, right.
There you go. Same difference, right?
So
Yeah.
back to, because you just mentioned Dodge and Chrysler, so back to some manufacturers and cars we get here in America. Mazda shows off its 2013 CX-5, the new small crossover, which we're getting in America. In fact, we at Autoblog and a couple of other media outlets recently had a chance to drive the prototypes that were all camouflaged up. But now at Frankfurt, we saw the final, all the camos off, the new design, and it's such a good-looking little crossover.
Is it? The pictures must not do it justice. It
It's
just looks
really
a little
good-looking in person. You have to see how the lines work together. This is effectively the replacement for the Tribute.
Aww.
Thank God, because the Escape is going away, and therefore the Tribute is going away. And this is sort of the evolution of the Minagi concept from Geneva. And from what I understand, the new Skyactiv engines are really, really good, especially the 2.2-liter turbo diesel, which we might get here in the States.
You just never know these days.
Might. So I think it's really nice. I'm looking forward to it.
So stay tuned.
Yeah.
Two-wheel news.
Yes. BMW is working on another electric scooter. They showed one off last year with the Mini, and this year they're actually badging it as a BMW. One of the largest growing markets for scooters is the larger 400 and 500cc size of, they're almost calling touring scooters now. This
kind
one
of an
is
oxymoron.
Yeah, well, if you saw how big they are, you wouldn't say that. But this one is all electric and will have about a 60-mile range, so you won't be doing any touring on it. However, it does have plenty of room for carrying a passenger or, your weekly shopping.
And it's all electric.
All electric.
Fancy. Very nice. So, buggy up? What?
Yep, that's something. Volkswagen has their new Up city car, and they have a bunch of concepts around based on the Up on their booth. One of them is a kind of a riff on the old dune buggy concept. So what used to be based on a bug is now based on an up. So it's more up than up.
They're on the up and up.
But it's a little orange dune buggy. Looks neat. Has zero chance of seeing production. Like all the other concepts.
Just for fun.
Okay.
Well, this was part of a larger thing because Volkswagen debuted the production Up at Frankfurt. So they did a bunch of concepts too. So they had the buggy Up, the Up Azura, the Cross Up, the GT Up,
The Up
Eco
Yours.
Up, the E Up,
GT
and
Up
yes,
was great.
the Up Yours.
You know what this reminds me of? What was that horrible green Pontiac concept from like the
Yeah.
80s or 90s?
But go up yourself.
Anyone remember? We talked about it on
They
the
dumped
show.
the paint out.
We did. It came with a garden hose.
And
yeah,
tools.
and like had all
Oh.
this stuff like packed in it, like a camp stove, and you could remove the
Chairs.
seats and sit on the beach.
You know who would know is Baja Busta.
Baja Busta.
If he
All
was
right,
in
well,
if he
were
chat.
in the chat room, he could help us.
How do you
But
pronounce?
apparently
How do
he's
you
got more
pronounce
important
buggy
things.
in German?
What's that, Michelle?
Buggy.
Buggy. Well, there you go.
Well, now you know. So,
Hey, Michelle,
Yeah.
do you think we can get this will be the new cartoon for this one too? You can get okay, Tink. Speed buggy cartoon, remember?
Yes.
Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about.
non sequitur.
Hey, by the way, I found the
Yes.
picture of whatever this is, but
And
I
is.
I don't know what it is, but that's the picture of it.
There you go.
It is. Oh, it's the Pontiac Stinger. That's what it is. It's the Pontiac Stinger.
Yeah, well,
So
I think
what
we're all
That's
glad we
right.
forgot.
Butte. Yeah, the reason it reminds me of that is because it's got like a little hole in the bottom of the door, just like this buggy.
Not
up
a rust
concept
hole,
does.
people. No,
Oh.
that's
So you
the
can
visibility.
shake the sand out of it.
Yeah,
1989 Pontiac Stinger.
that's nice.
For heady times. Well,
But did you see the Up Azuro? That was even crazier because it had all this wood. And did you see what it had instead of a sat nav? It had
No.
one of these round compasses on the dashboard, like you would have on a ship. These circular ones. Wait, I'll put a picture in the chat.
That's
see,
very
that's
strange.
interesting, but to get my attention, you got to have a sextant in the car.
Yeah.
Maybe it's in the dashboard. Something.
In the glove box. yeah.
Pops out when you need it.
Well, Craig, if you were did you go to Frankfurt, Craig?
I did not.
Okay, well, see, in Germany, since prostitution is legal, they probably do have sex tents.
Well, they have you can do it in the car park, I understand. We had that story about Geneva or something a few years ago. Yeah, anyway.
Hey, Craig, Luke asked a question in the chat room.
He asked...
What did he ask?
He said,
He said, doesn't Volvo have a U concept?
Could his timing have been any more perfect?
You paid him to do that, didn't you?
I don't think so. So Volvo had a concept, and yes, Luke, you are correct. It was called the UYOU, and this is sort of building off of their what was it called? The previous concept they showed, I believe, was in Shanghai.
the
Galaxy.
it's not the Galaxy.
Blah blah blah.
It's
Sweeping
something
greenhouse of
different.
a Volvo. It's a big sedan. It's probably hinting where like the next S80 will go. Sleek design, weird looking front end.
Hold on a second.
though.
I can find out what this is.
Yes, please
it's
do.
on this my tongue. The universe.
Yes.
Concept universe.
Yeah.
Close. So yes, this is kind of similar to that one, but
That is a
again,
bar of soap, isn't it?
it's a large sedan. Well, that's Scandinavian design, Michelle. It's like IKEA. It flat packs for easy shipping.
It has
Five,
to look good in
4,
your bathroom.
3, 2, 1. I have to interrupt.
This is 60 minutes.
I'm Morley Safer. Those stories and Andy Rooney tonight on 60 Minutes.
That's your 60-minute mark. Although technically it's 59.50.
Why do car horns sound so cheap?
Go.
Anyway, Concept U. It's a pretty good looking car. Front end's questionable though, and it's loaded with like leather and stuff inside. So check it out. It's there.
Leather and stuff.
Got
It's got
suicide
cow.
Loaded with leather and stuff.
Michelle, your
inside.
brand has a car they showed. Your favorite brand.
Well, I don't know if it's my favorite,
Favorite
but
color.
it's definitely one of my favorites. And they Subaru revealed its it's the Outback Sport actually, but they're calling it are they calling it the XV or the 15?
It's the XV.
Okay, that's kind of what I figured, but
It's
Hard
orange.
to say.
Yeah.
it's very orange, and they've raised it up and painted it bright orange and said, look, it's a new car.
Well, how about that?
It's
Great.
great. Yeah, it's just sort of like
It's an
the
ugly
Outback
Subaru.
Sport based on the new Impreza. It's what
Right.
it is.
Well,
really.
bring a book because it's pretty boring other than the color.
And the bottom jaw juts out about 2 feet.
It's like a pug.
It's like a big
It's a
underbite.
Probably has breathing
It's a
trouble
pooper
too.
scooper.
Well, speaking of ugly, so
Don't talk about me like
a few
that.
weeks before the show happened, we all got these press releases about this new British car maker called Eternity Motors, and they were going to be debuting this 620 horsepower luxury SUV that we had never seen before, and it was supposed to be this unheard of ridiculous thing. So we get to the show, and it's a Porsche Cayenne with a body kit on it, and what a body
jeez.
kit! This thing is atrociously ugly. It is.
Describe the ugly for those that are listening.
It is. It's got these big. It's got a big,
Does it have
gape,
jowls?
like open maw. It's got all these flares
He's gonna
and
eat
vents
you.
and stuff, and it's hideous. It's so awful to look at. It's disgusting, but you can clearly see that at one point this was just a little innocent Cayenne that was transformed into this
Monstrosity.
thing. It has the
It has
4.8
back
liter.
pockets.
It's got
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it does. It just does. It's got nice butt pockets and like that huge diffuser. Like it's just so stupid. But
Well,
twin
there you
turbo,
go.
4.8 liter
Mondeo
V8, 620 horsepower, iPads with wireless keyboards.
You got my
then
attention.
it's the best car ever.
That's the latest fad is, oh God, we don't know what to do. Put iPads in it.
And
How
it's
many
got-
can we fit?
It's got a drink chiller in the back too, or as I like to call the one in our long-term Hyundai Equus, the snowflake box.
How nice. Very nice. Next up, we're burning daylight, folks. Alfa Romeo, Eric. What can you tell us?
It's pretty much the same 4C that we've seen before, and which we'll see in America in about 2019 when Alfa Romeo finally gets around to coming to the United States. This one though was kind of special though because they have a new paint on it or a new finish on it that's called fluid metal, and it really does look like it's the metal on it looks very organic or very flowing on it. It looks to be in a liquid state. Very cool finish on it. Sort of think Terminator 2 with the Robert Patrick's character, and how it kind of morphed into stuff. That's kind of the finish it has on it. But it's a good looking car, although Robert Comfort doesn't seem to like it. But that's okay.
Yeah, whatever. So, Marco, you had, I believe you had lunch with Herr Buschmann. So you're doing his car now?
Nearly lunch with Herr Buschmann. Do you remember This is about the Brabus E-Class Electric, and do you remember 3 years ago there was a Ford F-150 concept EV with in-wheel motors?
I think
Yeah.
so, yes. You could drive stuff into the bed because it was
And
low.
exactly, and these in-wheel motors were made by PML Flightlink of England, and this company, PML Flightlink, has gone through the British equivalent of Chapter 11 and now calls itself Protean, and exactly that's where the motors for this electric E-Class come from. And Brabus has stuffed these in-wheel motors into their E-Class, 56 kilowatt hours of battery, about 3.5 times as much as the Volt has. And now this thing makes 430 some horsepower and is electric and has a huge ugly body kit. So what else would you expect from Brabus?
Having problems.
I think
Somebody
Eric's
having
blowing
problems?
his nose or something.
We had Eric's blowing
Ball
his
decided
horn.
to
We had the
bring her
train
ball
go
Yeah, we
over
had
the
the
office.
train just go by.
Ben was able to mute it, but yeah, I've got a pretty awesome product here. I think the 2012 Focus ST. I think this is going to be a really fun car. It's going to get 250 horsepower EcoBoost 4-cylinder under the hood, 2-liter, about 265 pound-feet of torque, 6-speed manual, pretty slick design. I think this will be a winner.
I agree.
Yeah. How was it in person? I mean, we've seen the concept before. Was it any
The
different what they
production
showed?
model looks exactly like the
Yeah.
concept, except it's,
Yep.
more
More
production
real.
ready.
Yes.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
looks like a real
The
car
rag,
now.
it's awesome.
Yeah.
It's really good.
The
But
wagon, yes.
yeah,
Oh,
there was a wagon that they showed
F
too.
you guys in Europe. I want that car. I would get if they sold the Wagoneer, it'd be mine.
Exactly.
I'd
They're
order
like,
it now.
they're like, here's the new Focus STH. Oh, by the way, there's a wagon that Europe's gonna get too. It's really cool.
That's exactly what they said.
It was like just so off the cuff. We're like, wait a minute, what wagon?
Huh?
Like, how dare you?
So yeah, they're launching it globally, 40 markets around the world, and North America, everybody is getting the same version of the car. There's no watering it down for the U.S. like tends to happen.
Except ours will
Always.
probably come with all-season tires.
Luke
Yeah.
says this is your next car.
I think it may be. We
I
shall.
think
Although
the yellow
Luke,
will look nice with your salmon-colored shirt.
Luke, I'm going to disregard that comment, Michelle. It is hurtful towards me. But Luke, I was considering a Mustang as well, but we shall see.
I'm gonna write a book about Craig, and it's gonna be called My Salmon-Colored Life.
It should be called Concessions to Pragmatism. There's
Are
your
you
title.
big enough to drive a Mustang?
A V6, sure. Volkswagen Beetle R
they'll build
concept.
up
Change
some
the
leg
subject. Change
muscles.
the subject. Change the subject.
Well, here's one that you might fit in a little better. Because Volkswagen is continuing its effort to attract more male types to their
What is
Or
Beetle
masculine ladies.
by doing the Volkswagen Beetle R concept at the show. It came in Sirius Gray. That's its name, Sirius Gray.
As in
had
Sirius Black from
20-inch
Harry Potter?
had 20-inch wheels, Talladega or alloy wheels, and it's going to get about 240 horsepower. So it's a little bit under your little Focus, but not by much.
Fun little car, I'm sure.
It should be cute. It's like a little 911.
Except
Yeah.
not
Except not.
at all. Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's great. Arr.
So something that's exactly like a 911, except not in every possible way. It's the Alpina B6 bi-turbo convertible, which is the new BMW 6 Series convertible with the awesome Alpina treatment. It's got the lovely new appearance, the signature Alpina blue, the big 20-spoke wheels, more power. It's now got 507 horsepower, 516 pound-feet of torque. And as cool as this is, I'm sorry, it just does not hold a candle to the Alpina, the B5 wagon that was debuted back in Geneva. That thing still has my heart. It was the 5 Series wagon-based Alpina creation. But this makes the otherwise sedate 6 Series kind of fun.
Yeah, definitely. But Steven, you
What
know what
about
that?
the D5 wagon?
Didn't see a D5. We just saw the
Was
B6.
there?
B6 was their new thing.
You see, Mirko, Steven didn't actually go out and walk the floor. He
I
just
did
stayed in
for
the
10
press
minutes. I got 10 minutes on the floor. I walked through Smart to go see
You went to see
Audi.
Smart specifically.
So I went to go see Smart specifically because, as any listener of the show knows, I love
Yep.
Smart.
If he didn't get a press release days in advance, he didn't write about it.
know-
That's up to the second coverage right there.
One of the great moments of our Autolines Live webcast from Frankfurt Motor Show, as John was walking around with our portable backpack, he comes up to the Mercedes building. He says, well, of course you have to go through Smart to get to Mercedes, and I'm sure they did that so that, because no one else would go to Smart anyway. So we're going to have to walk through this.
He said that on the air?
He did.
Oh, yeah.
And I just repeated
That's
it.
unusually frank.
It wasn't even after hours.
I know. But with that, we've reached the halfway point, and y'all know what that means. It's time to thank the fine folks that make this program possible. So yes, we gotta do a shout out to Advance
Isn't that
Auto
Ben
Parts.
Sanders?
No, no,
I could have swore it was.
nope.
I thought so.
Time people, we're burning daylight here. So Advance Auto Parts exclusive affiliate offer of Mirko. You may even be able to apply for this. I'm not sure, but you could try. See what the free shipping applies to Germany. But very special offer. Go to our website, roundaboutshow.com. You'll see a little advertisement right-hand sidebar of the page for Advance. You click on that, and that is your portal to mega savings. If you order $30 worth of products, you can save $10. If you order $50, you can take $20 off that bill. If you hit $100 or more, $30. Gone. You don't have to pay. And as I mentioned, any order over $75 qualifies for free shipping, possibly even to Germany. And I hope you're checking on that now, Mirko. He's awfully quiet. So again, that's 10 off 30, 20 off 50, or 30 off 100. Great savings. All you got to do, follow the link on our website, roundaboutshow.com. Enter the promo code, which is listed on the website, and you can save big.
And in the interest of time, I will play this at double speed.
That's a bargain.
There we go.
Yep. And I understand they're ready. They're waiting for you, Ben.
They're ready in advance.
That's his cue. He didn't have it queued up.
No.
Anyway, Eric, back to you, buddy.
Yep. So Brabus was showing off some other cars there, including what they're calling the Rocket 800, which is a 230 mile an hour S-Class that has, wait for it, 800 horsepower and 1,047 pound-feet of torque, although it's actually limited to 811 because, well, it would blow that bleep up if they actually let all the torque go through the transmission.
It's a lot
Brabus
of torque.
does this all the time. They have these cars with like 1,000-something horsepower, and they go, but we had to limit it because if we didn't, the transmission would explode.
Yeah. At which point, since they can engineer everything else, you'd think they could engineer a transmission.
Because they're still using the 5-speed automatic that Mercedes uses because it's the only transmission in the Mercedes stable that can actually handle that much power.
Yep. But you buy a Brabus though when you think AMGs are for pussies.
Mm-hmm.
Do I have to bleep that?
You better.
I better mark it.
Okay.
Just making Ben's weekend a lot more difficult, Eric. So, mega horsepower, mega performance, and irrelevant, basically.
And about $400,000.
Oh, is that all? Well, great. So is the Opel Astra more affordable, though? I'm not certain.
I think so. It should be a bit cheaper than a Golf. And that's good because the Opel Astra GTC, which is the 3-door version, is pretty good looking.
Yeah, it's a handsome car.
Yeah, it looks better in real life than it does on pictures. It's lower and wider than the 5-door Astra, and the ones they had on their booth were rolling on 20-inch wheels. So
what's that in millimeters?
About 500.
A lot.
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah, it
half,
should be.
half a meter.
Looks like they fixed the previous generation's hideous interior.
Ugh.
I hated that thing.
That car was
When it was the
miserable.
Saturn. Yeah.
Terrible car.
I think it looks good. I'm not so sure about whether it's so smart to design a car with those huge wheel arches that only will look good with 20-inch wheels.
Yeah.
It's because they can get expensive when you need replacement tires. But otherwise, looks good. It has a bit wider track than the 5-door Astra, and they say it's supposed to go against the Scirocco.
Huh. Well, it's
I
a
can
pretty
see
good-looking car.
Yeah.
And
I
is
can see
this part of Opel moving up market now?
Maybe a small bit up market.
Up wheels,
what
for sure.
what I would really need to go against Volkswagen would be a weight reduction, because the Astra is always
Yeah, they're fat little cars.
much
aren't they?
heavier, much heavier than the equivalent Volkswagen.
Yeah, they are. They
So
are
you-
little.
They're like a dog that lives at a nursing home and gets fed all the
They
time.
are little fatties, aren't they?
Yeah. So, well, speaking of moving up market, Kia showed off a concept called the GT for a rear-wheel drive car. Can you believe that?
I can. I saw it.
Well, you're one. Yeah, maybe you should present this story, Stephen. I don't.
Saw it in photos.
Yeah. Saw it in photos. 3.3 liter turbocharged V6, 389 horsepower, acclaimed 394 pound-feet of torque, and rear-wheel drive. It's nuts. I'm assuming this is built off the Hyundai Genesis.
No one would say.
Architecture, but who cares?
Yeah, it has to be.
They won't tell you, and it doesn't matter. So
Kia.
it's a pretty good-looking car, if a little weird along the side, but you know.
Yeah, but I pointed out when I was writing about this that the front end of that thing, we've seen that front end elsewhere, like the Aston 177 and that
45 minutes left.
crap.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Kia, you can go read about it if you want, because I'm done. Michelle?
Hi. So
I-
Fisker has introduced yet another concept of, we could ask Eric, are they getting cars on the lots yet?
Not yet, because they still have yet to be certified. So now they're talking November.
Okay. So they've introduced another car that we may never see. But it is the Fisker Surf, and it's an actual, real, honest-to-goodness station wagon that's based on the Karma platform. From the front, it looks like the nose of the Karma kind of got pulled out a little bit, and like there's nothing there. But from the rear images of it, you can really see that it's a true station wagon with a lot of cargo space back there. It's pretty
It
cool.
show is potty, too.
And all
It's
electric.
awesome.
Go ahead, Mirko.
It's awesome. That's what it is.
Yeah, it's going to be $100,000 awesome. So
We found something Mirko likes here. He's been pretty cool on all the cars so far, but Fisker Karma, after the 1 Series is done,
No,
Maybe.
don't do it.
once your dad gives you a raise and you get the corner
Yeah,
office,
Maybe, but
when you become vice president of the European Membrane Council.
yeah, maybe then.
Mirko's like, Craig, shut the hell up. I hate you. Why did I agree to come on this stupid show?
If they
So let's
painted
talk about-
electric orange.
Let's talk about some cars.
Okay, what's up? What's next?
Arguably the most important car on display in Geneva, or sorry, Frankfurt, whatever.
where was I? Where was
I
I?
don't remember. What's funny is this was perhaps the most important reveal there, but it was the car that looks the least different than it used to. That made sense to me. It's the new Porsche 911, the 991 Porsche 911.
So is this new?
It is new. If you look at it, there are little tiny details, but what's most important is that they've lengthened the wheelbase, so the overhangs at the front and the back are a lot shorter, and it's a little bit like squatter looking. It's
Gorgeous.
just slightly different than the current 997, but it's enough that this thing is just beautiful. But the big news with the new 911 is the first ever 7-speed manual transmission. So you'll be able to order a 7-speed manual, and you can still get the PDK, but that's the new 911.
Why did they need a 7-speed manual? That's weird.
Because 7-speed is all about efficiency, and Porsche can't not offer a stick in that car.
can't.
People would set fire to Stuttgart.
Well, yeah, I agree.
PDK.
I would.
Who wants a PDK?
Right.
Nobody. Let's be honest. Except the poser that drives the Porsche.
Except the people who have the money to buy one. But
Yeah, never
Right,
mind that.
Because you've already had one knee replacement, and hey.
Wow. Jaguar CX-16. This is a pretty fun-looking little car.
Yeah, now my issue with this thing is that it looks a little too close to a Ferrari 599 for me.
could
Now
be
maybe-
anything.
Yeah, I mean it's a good looking car, but as soon as I saw it, I go, oh wow, it's a Ferrari 599. I don't know if anyone else had that reaction, but anyways, Jaguar is going to attempt to take on the Porsche Cayman with this car, although it's a concept. They haven't said it's going to go into production, but that's the market it would go after. So it'd be a $50,000 to $60,000 US kind of car. 3-liter V6 with 376 horsepower. So, and it's also supposedly going to have an electric motor to bring an additional 92 horsepower. So they're saying 0 to 60 in 4.4 seconds and a top speed of 186 miles an hour.
So there you go. I wonder if that's the 3-liter Duratec they used to use in the X-Type.
Oh, God. It's awful.
Well,
That's
there you
the case.
go.
Get some new cylinder heads ready immediately.
What's next on our list here, guys? Lancia.
Lancia Flavia Cabrio. A real Italian, beautiful Bella Macchina, but actually it's a Chrysler Sebring. Except there is no Chrysler in continental Europe anymore, just in the UK. So they have to budget something else, and so they took a Lancia badge and fixed it to the grill, and done.
Is it still built in Sterling Heights?
I think so. And unlike the old Chrysler Sebring convertible you could buy here a year ago, it doesn't come with a diesel engine.
So they're selling a car in Europe with no diesel.
Yeah.
And they expect to sell any.
Lancia dealers, they were supposed to get a Flavia sedan, but dealers didn't see a market, so that model was cancelled.
Well, or they drove one from Hertz.
Or they drove one.
Yes.
Are they going to do a Chrysler style, music video campaign with Flava Flav?
Well, Mirko, you said
What
Lancia
makes sense?
dealers, plural. There's more than one that would sell this car?
Lancia is probably one of the brands that sells less cars in Europe than Chrysler did.
Well, it's great. It
So-
makes perfect sense then to put them together.
It makes perfect sense. You destroy the Lancia brand, the rest of the reputation that it has, and you sell a car with no market. Maybe it cancels. Maybe the Lancia brand cancels the 200 out. I don't know. Maybe it will be a huge hit, but
I don't know. Flavia sounds a lot fancier than 200, or Sebring, but we shall see. Next up, another crazy French car, the Citroën Tubic. Giant van thing with some funky interior. Tubic.
Or not too big.
That's
That is the question.
There you go. It's like purple and
awesome.
stuff. Oh, you like this one, huh?
Yeah, I liked it. It was like the first car I saw when I got into the show. So it was right on the entrance of the hall.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Really?
So I sent Ben a note, so hopefully he can pull this up. But it always bugged me. Like this reminds me of something, and it finally hit me the other day. It kind of has a look of the GM Futureliner.
It does. That kind of square, but sticking out a little bit front end.
Yep.
And you know what's funny? I was going to say, I was just going this very day through the old Autoline archives and pulling old concept cars because as we move, we're going to have to get rid of a lot of our old tapes. And we're pulling a few to save, to like repurpose. Well, 2 boxes on Ben's count. But I ran across the Ford Airstream.
Speak faster.
The Ford Airstream concept.
Yes.
And this looks a lot like that as well.
You're right.
Except orange inside.
I maintain what I said last week when we talked about the renderings. Needs a nautical steering wheel. That's all there is to it. But next on the list, Michelle, Infinity.
Yeah, so Infinity has a new FX50 out. That's the Infinity FX Sebastian Vettel version, and it is they've added an extra 30 horsepower to it, so it's got 414 horsepower and apparently can do something like 186 miles per hour. Yeah, there you go. And they lost the beautiful grille on this one, right? So I love the old FX50 grille.
So Michelle
That's it.
Naranjo, not a fan. Not even with a premium name attached.
No.
No. Silence.
Yep.
Uh, So speaking of premium name, Audi.
I've heard of them.
This
I've heard of
thing,
them.
It starts with an A and rhymes with howdy.
this is like the hottest car in the world to me. So I talked about the S8 earlier. Audi also debuted the S7, which has that same twin-turbo 4-liter V8, 420 horsepower, 406 pound-feet of torque, but it's got that whole S aerodynamic treatment to it, but it's on the new A7, which is one of the most gorgeous cars in the world right
It's
now.
a looker.
It is absolutely stunning. And Audi had it in this really nice, bright lipstick red. Did not love the chrome wheels and like the aluminum-y chromey look to it.
I like those.
But
It's stunning.
even then, it's just gorgeous. One car we're not going to talk about, though, that is actually right behind it in terms of what they debuted was the S6, which is the same sort of thing. Same big engine in the new A6
detuned
body.
from the S8 though.
Right.
Pretty considerably too.
Yeah, by about 100 horsepower.
Yeah.
But
Plenty fast.
it just
I'm
shows
sure.
that engine's got potential.
There you go. All righty. So Eric, another Frenchman,
Yes.
a Peugeot.
The Peugeot, yes. Peugeot. The HX1, it's a plug-in MPV. And this is also showing off the diesel hybrid system that Mirko talked about earlier. 299 total horsepower, and they're saying the U.S. equivalent 73.5 miles per gallon. What caught my eye on this is, and this is another thing that, wow, this reminds me of something else. Although this is an MPV, this reminds me of the Citroen Metropolis concept from Shanghai. So I'm probably wrong on that, but that's what kind of struck me on this. So it's
Funky van type thing with
Similar.
scissor
But
doors.
here's what I like about it is it looks like a 21st century car.
Yes,
it doesn't
does.
look like something that, okay, let's be conservative off everything that's been done for. I mean, it looks like it belongs in the 21st century.
It almost reminds me of one of those Dustbuster vans from the 90s, just because of the angle between the hood and the glass is so shallow, you know? But this is actually attractive. Very, very attractive.
the old Chevy Luminas.
Yes, or
the
the-
Oldsmobile Silhouette.
Silhouette. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
exactly. So something
But
smaller. Say again, Mirko?
this looks about half as tall.
Yeah,
Right.
definitely. So Wiesmann.
Yeah, Wiesmann. They have been coming out with the final edition of their MF3, which is the original Wiesmann. The MF3 is their roadster with the inline-six BMW engine and BMW everything else under the skin. And the final edition comes with a few different color themes developed with the porcelain company Sieger, which I had never heard of before, but I buy my kitchenware from IKEA. So it's probably not my price range, but now you can buy your matching Wiesmann Roadster to your porcelain from Sieger. So with the problem that they will only make 18 of these final edition Wiesmann MF3s, one of each color theme, so you better buy the right one quick.
They're only making 18 because they won't be able to sell 10.
Maybe because the MF3 has been in production for 18 years.
Oh,
That's
so it's
what,
like a Crown Victoria, but
not as old.
not about half as old, probably. So yeah, Wiesmann MF3, the final edition. Is the end of the line.
Final edition.
Countdown.
There's no encore after this.
Right, so-
All right, Craig, you've got the Audi Urban concept. That's next on the list. Why, thank you. So this is like a bathtub with wheels on it, and exposed suspension like you'd see on an F1 or kind of an Indy car. And this is another sort of very, very small city concept. I'm sure there were a lot of those there at the show.
Except this one, when they debuted it, it had a pair of Justin Bieber-looking German twins.
Oh, that's
that were
great.
debuting
Well,
how to
we're-
open the doors and everything.
We're done.
We're all going home.
About 1,000
Goodbye.
pounds, 2 rear-mounted electric motors driving the rear wheels, some small kilowatt-hour lithium-ion battery, so 0 to 60 in, 11 seconds, I think it was?
Yeah.
So there you go, open-top motoring. Not an unattractive car, but just odd and is never going to be built. Speaking of that,
of odd. Would you like to meet my friend Niles? He's very odd. He likes a car that only he can go in. He doesn't want any friends to go with him. No, the Niles is a concept from Volkswagen, and it is a one-person car that weighs under 1,000 pounds. Is actually about 30% longer than the Smart car, and I would not drive this on the Mackinac Bridge in March.
No.
So
Yeah, I
one
always thought it was
seater.
pronounced I was calling it the Nils.
The Nils, maybe it is.
But I like calling it the
Nico?
Niles better because it sounds statelier.
Well, he was born in Bristol, 1946.
I should take the Niles to work today.
having went to a Niles High School, yes, you are missing an E in there.
Yeah. Still, yeah.
So when are we? Is this another idea of like the 1 liter car, or no? This is electric. So
No, it's just
Yeah.
a little. It's
No
like,
liter of
it's like the
electricity.
Audi Urban, but with one seat.
well, there you go.
And with a
I'm
lovely
bored of these
name.
cars. So moving on.
Moving on.
Hyundai i30. Maybe Mirko should do this one since his mother drives one.
Yeah, but
doesn't she?
it's
Mama
the,
Reinhardt.
And my brother.
Oh,
But it's the new one, which is the Elantra. It's the new Elantra with a little cute little butt on it now. For a long time, Hyundai promised us that when the new Elantra came, we would still get the Elantra Touring here in the U.S. And the Elantra Touring was always based on the i30, which is why we didn't get a new Elantra Touring right away.
30 minutes remain. This is your warning.
Excellent.
only 1/3 of the program left.
Yeah, so it's an Elantra. It's a hatchback. It's got the cute fluidic sculpture styling around to the butt of the car. And a version of this will be coming to America as the Elantra Touring.
One
Lantra.
question.
My doctor said Elantra.
My doctor said Elantra.
What's that, Mirko?
One question. The Elantra has a torsion beam rear axle. The i30 always had an independent rear suspension. What's under this?
I'm not sure what's under this one, to be honest with you.
Because the average i30 buyer probably doesn't care, so they could
Right.
save some cost there.
Right, exactly.
They could put a solid axle.
And Automotor and Sport recently did a comparison of 13 C-segment cars, and the i30 was the worst handling of all of them.
Oof.
Oh, that's nice. That just shows you how competitive the section is.
Yeah, the C-section is.
So next up on the list, Lamborghini Gallardo.
Yep, you can tell that Lamborghini is taking a cue from their sister company Porsche, because as a car is coming towards the end of its life cycle, all of a sudden there seems to be a lot of special editions coming out. Only 150 of the Super Trofeo Stradales will be being rolled out by Lamborghini. For your money, which, of course, if you have to ask, you can't afford, you get a just shy of 3,000-pound car with 570 horsepower, and it should be able to go 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in under 3.5 seconds. They showed it off in the very striking Mars red color here with lots of black offset and carbon fiber, and it's a very striking car, but don't get too attached to it because there will be a replacement for it within the next 18 months.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Lambo. What can you say? It's fast. It looks pretty good, although this one was styled with a hatchet.
Arguably.
Yes. There you go. What do we have next? I believe the Ford Evos.
Yes, and what this is it's the new design direction, the new styling that we are going to see from future Fords. At least that's what they say it is. The Ford Evos is typically crazy concept with crazy doors that open in all directions except the ones you would want them to open. But what you can see when you look at it a bit more closely is it has exactly the opposite of recent styling trends. It has very narrow, very low headlights. It has a grille that's something in between a Mustang grille and the European Ford grille. And it's not as swoopy as the kinetic design Fords are. It's more of a...
It looks better. Way
Yeah, it
better.
looks
This is
better.
gorgeous.
That's a shorter way to put it. It looks better than current Fords. I would
Four
like to
gull-wing
see a
doors.
future Focus looking like that.
That's all I'm saying about
It's
it.
very nice. I like. So the Russians were at the show as well. Little pumpkin seed shaped car.
In Russia, car drive you.
Yeah. There's a Otto. Yo. Showed off a concept car. I'm not entirely certain what it was called. The concept.
They didn't really have a name of it.
In Soviet Russia, we don't think of names for products. We just introduce them.
I wonder if they thought this was like very American. We call it Yo.
Yeah, Yo. No, I think it's actually spelled with an E umlaut, and then Auto has a V instead of a U. I don't speak Cyrillic, so I don't know.
We talked about this company about a month and a half ago or so on the show, and it's the 7th or 9th letter of the Russian alphabet.
Mm-hmm.
Yo!
Exactly.
So, yeah, it looks like a little 4-seater. This looks futuristic, too, like you were commenting on that van earlier, French van, Eric. I get that same vibe from this. But the doors are pretty impractical, but pretty awesome looking. Because they kind of motor back and kind of do sort of a 90-degree turn as they go towards the
Yeah,
back of the
you
vehicle.
really have to look at this one to get it.
Z1.
Yeah.
Oh, the Z1.
So, roundaboutshow.com, hit the link in the show notes, watch the little video, the Yo Auto, presumably Yo concept, Yo Mama,
Yo, mama.
whatever else, I don't know.
Yo, mama.
Yeah.
You talking to me?
Yo, looks like a
Yo.
pumpkin seed.
Up.
Yo,
Up.
And away.
Do you want to? Hey, you want to move up?
moving
Let's.
on up.
Yeah. So the,
To the Volkswagen.
2012 Volkswagen Up. Ding. That's for exclamation point.
Oh, I thought that was like a bullet ricocheting.
Production model. We can call it the Volkswagen Up. Stoing.
Stein. All right, sound drop. I have a sound drop now.
Production model is finally going to be available, and it is it's a very start-up little car, isn't it? It's going to start about $13,500, and it has nice little names like Move Up and High Up and
Tie
I
up.
don't know, White Up and
Give up.
Give Up. Give Up. Yeah, and it's a little cheap car.
Yeah, that kind of started so strong, Michelle.
So let's talk about a cheap car that we would actually buy.
What would that be,
The
Steven?
Euro Honda Civic, because it doesn't
Ah.
suck like the American Honda Civic.
Is it hideous like the American one? Oh, not so much.
No, it's kind of cute. They had it in this weird sort of like almost matte green. But the Euro Civic has always traditionally been a lot swoopier than the American
Yes.
one. And it's been a hatchback with the door handles integrated into the C-pillar. And the new one is just the same. It's actually kind of cute, and I'm sort of interested to see what European Honda does with the new Civic to make the new Civic Type R. Because based on the design of this new one, I think it's going to be really good looking.
Based on the design of this one?
The Euro Civic, you don't think that looks good?
It's okay.
I think it's really good looking.
If only we could get this here rather than the
Exactly.
Civic we have.
It's really sharp.
Abomination we have.
But it doesn't look as good as the old one.
No, the old one looks really good. The sort of bubbly Civic.
I hate what they did to the taillights. This wraparound.
The
Malarkey.
wraparound taillights did look really good, but
Ugh.
I don't think this is
Oh,
bad at
God.
all. I don't think that's
That
bad.
back end is atrocious.
No way.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Disagree.
I only set foot on the Honda booth to take pictures of the Ford booth.
Okay, in a 3/4 view of the back end, it's not so bad, but my God, square on. That is hideous.
No way.
Hideous, Steven. How can you like that?
I do. I just do.
Mm-mm.
Sorry.
It comes with a diesel.
It does come
Look
with
how
a
it's
diesel.
I'm sure Zach Bowman has an opinion
No.
Well,
No.
none that we could
on everything Honda.
about, yes. All right, what do we got next? Star of the show, Eric? Arguably.
Really? The Ford Focus STR?
Star.
Star. Yeah.
What's this car?
So it's basically a race car that you order directly out of the Ford Performance Racing catalog. If you would like to go touring car racing, all you got to do is have a large checkbook, although they didn't state what price. And this will show up at your local Ford dealer, and then you just load it up and take it racing. Now, the clever people in there will probably figure a way how to put a license plate on it and drive it on the street. But for the most part, this is a race-only vehicle to help Ford assault especially the British Touring Car Championship and the World Touring Car Championship.
It's a looker. It's got some
cool.
nice stickers. Yeah. That giant D-ring on the bumper. I'm not sure what that's for.
That's a tow. It's for a tow hook.
Ah.
So when you go into the kitty litter, they can pull you out quickly.
Oh, how nice.
Yeah.
So same specs as the ST, I'm assuming, about 200.
Little better,
horsepower.
probably a little bit better motor. Sure, it probably weighs about 600-700 pounds less because it doesn't really have an interior. Comes with a roll cage already in it.
Curious they didn't do it off a 3-door model or something. I know we're not getting one of those in the U.S., but they've got those extra doors, and that's more
Longer
weight,
wheelbase
so.
for better handling.
There you go. All right, what have we got on our rundown next? I believe a Skoda.
Yeah,
Skoda.
another Czech car. Skoda
It's not
is,
Tatra. I'm not interested.
It doesn't have a air-cooled Hemi V8 in the back. This is the Skoda Mission L concept, and Skoda, as we all know, is one of Volkswagen's cheap brands, supposedly, but they have been. You wouldn't notice it if you look at the Skoda Octavia, which is the Skoda closest in size to a Jetta. The Skoda always has independent rear suspension and everything, and now they are trying to reposition Skoda with cheaper, simpler cars and with stuff like a torsion beam rear axle and maybe even drum brakes. And the concept for this is the Mission L concept, and this is supposed to become a new model that's cheaper than the Octavia. The production version will probably be called Rapide or something else.
Something
from the rich history of the
disingenuous.
brand.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's maybe becoming the next cheap, frugal people car from Skoda.
What is it? Who is the Skoda buyer? Who purchases a Skoda, Mirko?
People who probably would buy a Camry in America. Frugal
those
people, sensible people, people who don't.
People who have given up on driving.
The kind of people who would have bought Volvo wagons in the 80s.
So people who'd rather take the bus.
Appliance car people.
I don't
appliance
want to
people,
drive, but if
exactly.
I have to, I'll buy a Skoda.
Morty.
People who
Those.
used to buy Japanese cars in the 90s.
It's basically, well, I didn't feel like getting the Mitsubishi Galant.
Whoever would want a Galant?
A Skoda owner?
I guess you're right, yeah. That's a car we just need to forget about. Arguably a brand as well, but I digress. Land Rover Defender successor, DC100 Concepts. Plural, there were 2 of them. They had a lovely silver 4-door and then a 2-door with a missing top. So this
Where'd
is their,
we put it?
I don't know. You have to ask Land Rover. This
It's
is what.
topless, just like Craig likes them.
So.
Take it off. Take it off.
Okay.
In the
I said
interest of
that really
time.
fast.
Take it off.
Ah, God. Okay, fine.
So Land Rover, this is hinting where the next generation Defender is going, which is due out, I believe, 2015. They've confirmed. So lovely little vehicle. A pair of engines are offered, both, I recall, 4-cylinder, 2-liter gas, 2-liter diesel. Bunch of other features. Tires with spikes that are supposedly driver activatable that come out of the tires, so you can claw your way out of the dirt.
This
if
is
you get stuck.
Batman crap.
I think so. Where are the explosives and stuff? Guns. So yeah, pretty nice looking vehicle, but I prefer the 4-door over this bronze-colored 2-seater. But hey, roundaboutshow.com. Hit the link in the show notes. Check it out.
Decide
That's the best
for yourself.
idea to replace the Defender. Just keep making the old Defender forever.
I agree.
There you go.
I agree.
Lotus.
Yes, Lotus rolled out its little. Well, Lotus wants to get into rally, but it doesn't want to form its own team quite yet. So they're going to offer up the little Lotus R GT as a rally offering, so customers can go and rally in it first. It's actually still got the same engine as the normal Exige, except for they put air restrictors on it because of FIA RGT class restrictions. But,
Mule pucky.
Yes, it's true.
Horse hockey.
But I mean, it's still, and it actually has to weigh more because of the FIA requirements as well. So it's like underside and side protection for the drivers, for when they do one of those great rolls, a la Travis Pastrana.
Who's that?
Who's that? So so it's a nice little cute little rally race car if anybody wants to go racing.
This or the Focus STR? That's the question.
The Lotus.
All right, but which would you prefer?
The Lotus.
All right.
Yeah, but can you imagine trying to get in and out of that Exige with a roll cage in there?
I don't care.
I would imagine it's kind of costly.
Stephen would be the first one complaining. My back hurts.
Yeah, but honestly, it'd probably be easier because you have to throw yourself into a Lotus anyway. With the Focus, you've got this awkward I have to climb up into the roll cage.
All right, agree to disagree, but I think the people have spoken, Stephen, and you're wrong.
I'm never wrong.
Honda Insight.
Oh God.
You picked it.
I did pick it. So the Insight isn't as ugly as it used to be. They gave it a new face.
Mr. Optimist here.
Yeah,
Since
it's-
Mr. Opportunity got killed, apparently.
Right. It's the same Insight we've grown to hate remarkably over the past couple of years, but it looks a little nicer. It's got blue headlights.
Question mark. Nice.
And different wheels. And
But they've
apparently,
opened up those wheel wells a lot more, haven't they?
yeah, but it's it's still an Insight, which is the problem. The big changes though are that Honda has put some more time and attention to detail on the interior. And if you ever were in the current Insight, the interior is just miserable. It's totally miserable.
It's like an airplane restroom, you're saying.
Yeah. So
Prison bus.
Prison bus. So Honda's gone through and added, some more niceness to the interior. But it's still just.
What does it need, Steve? What is Dr. Ewing's prescription for the Honda Insight?
It needs to go back to the original formula of the Insight. What they need to do is take the CRZ, put a more efficient engine in it.
So like pretty much anyone else's four-cylinder.
Put an Insight badge on it, and sell it.
Is it still the case that it won't run in all EV mode?
It's just so. There's nothing redeeming about it. Why not just get a Civic Hybrid at that point?
Or
I've never seen an Insight on the road ever.
Really?
Never.
I've seen very
ever.
few, even here.
Yeah, I don't think.
Or on Honda dealer lots. Never.
So we got another Lotus, spicing things up, taking us out of the doldrums.
Yeah, get me away from this Insight.
Yes. It is, sorry, wrong tab. The Lotus Exige S, which is sort of, you wonder if some S.
Exiges.
I was going to say.
You wonder if someone has been spending too much time in America because to make it go faster, they put a bigger engine in it. And they put a number 3 on there for Dale.
Oh, and they got a spoiler, too.
It's a 6-cylinder, I understand.
It's not just a 6-cylinder, it's a supercharged 6-cylinder from the Evora S. Just shy of 350 horsepower, and yet it weighs 200 pounds more, but that's still a very sprightly 2,380 pounds.
Crap.
Comes with some super sticky Pirelli P0 courses, and you can be able to turn off the traction control all the way off so that you'll be sure to plant yourself into the nearest tree or Armco barrier.
Would be worth it.
Maybe. So
Gotta go faster.
Faster. 346
I'll go faster.
horsepowers. Power! No? Nobody?
Is that a
Power!
Yeah, well, there you go. Mercedes-Benz.
You're out of time.
Yes, we're doing fine. Mercedes-Benz F125 previews a plug-in hydrogen future.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
What I'm confused about, a few years ago they had an F700, and the show before that was the F600, so
They've gone down.
They went back in time.
they went back in time.
Yeah, but
Why?
this one has an exclamation point on it.
Yeah, that's nice, but the Up has an exclamation point too, and that's going into production. What the F cars are typically at Mercedes is they are combining forward-looking design. Sometimes it's ending up in production cars, sometimes it isn't, and some new drivetrain technology.
Yeah, well, you know why
This
they
one has
called
a-
it the 125, right?
Because that's how much it weighs in
It's because
kilometers.
this is
and
the 125th anniversary of
Oh, right.
I see
Mercedes-Benz.
what
So-
you did there. I
It
see.
makes sense.
Right. And they're
It
really
makes
happy about it, so
sense.
they gave it an exclamation point.
Oh.
Michelle, give us the exclamation point sound again.
Stoing.
There we go.
It's got projector beam displays and a range of 1,000 kilometers.
Oh,
Holy
and
crap.
it has glowing doors. Why wouldn't it?
Why not?
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
might as well. They're not going to build it anyway.
I know.
It's really ugly too.
Yeah. Well, moving along, Maserati took the opportunity to showcase
God.
something. The Coup Bang, or
Kabang!
or I'm suspecting Michelle changed it to the Gang Bang in the rundown. I'm going to blame her for that.
I didn't do
That
that.
sounds like something she would have
What?
done. Mirko is smirking. Smirko.
Smirko.
Was it you, Steven? Who's the culprit?
Listen, I didn't
Who
make
did
the
it?
gangbang.
Who did
I
it?
hate that thing so much that I don't want to touch it.
But it's
so-
a Grand Cherokee. What's to hate about the Grand Cherokee?
nothing.
Folks, 10 minutes left.
All right.
That thing got a Hemi?
Doc, I'm going to be late for school.
Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun.
All the air just left the room. All right, Maserati Coup Bang is an Italianified version of the Jeep Grand Cherokee, built up that same architecture, Grand Cherokee Durango. Looks pretty nice. What's that?
That thing got a Hemi?
Supposedly a Ferrari engine, but we'll see.
Ah.
Yeah.
And what does Kubang mean? Is it the sound it makes when the warranty is up?
Do you guys remember though that something like 7-8 years ago, Maserati had a Kubang concept
No, I don't.
that was a crossover, and it was called Kubang.
Whenever I hear Coup Bang, I remember that Asian guy singing "She Bang, She Bang."
I hate you so much.
Yeah, there you go. What was his name? Johnny Huang or something? Huang?
I hate you so much.
Well, we already knew
I
that.
do
Steve.
too.
Very thorough gallery on the Autoblog, too,
Thank
Stephen.
you.
Yeah, that's great. So, yeah, Maserati Coup Bang. Some like it, others not so much. But there you go. Michelle, you got another Audi to talk about, the A2 concept, which I understand debuted in Frankfurt, right?
I did. It's a little electric concept that they've produced in their new, electric development studio.
It's so cute.
It is very cute, and I love that line, the laser line going around it. I think it's really sharp looking. I love what they've done with those. I don't like those little round LED Audi headlights. They make me laugh in a not nice way, and I like the lines that are going on in these headlights a lot.
I just want
It's
to walk
pretty
up to it
heavy.
and I want to walk up to it and give it a squeeze.
I know. There's no hood or anything. I mean, it's got a lot of batteries in it. And it's supposed to get 100, they're projecting, I mean, this is, of course, all made up numbers, 124 miles.
Right.
So does that line along the side actually light up? It looks like it does.
It does.
Where
That's
are
the
the
best
door
thing about a
handles?
concept car is that you can issue your press release and you can have your presentation and say like, oh yeah, it gets 700 miles to a charge and it's only going to
Right.
cost $13,000.
Where-
Right? Chevy Volt.
Right?
No, wait, now where are the door handles, Stephen?
There aren't any.
Manisha.
Well, Gesundheit. Yeah, so Audi A2 concept. There you go. Stephen, are you going to finish us off today? Last vehicle on the rundown?
Craig, I would be honored to finish.
Would you
you
please
off.
do that for us?
To finish all of us off.
Oh, well, there you go.
Actually, we've got a little bit of hotness for the end, a little firecracker. I love this thing. It's the Fiesta ST concept, which is basically the sort of Focus ST idea brought to the smaller Fiesta. It's based on a 3-door version of the new Fiesta. It's so cute. It's just this little sporty hot hatch with a 1.6-liter EcoBoost 4-cylinder, good for about 175 to 180 horsepower. It's just, like I said, it's just a little firecracker. I just want to
It looks
throw
like
it
a
around.
hot tamale.
It is a little hot tamale. And Ford, it's just seriously looking at this right now for production. They haven't said whether or not this will or will not be created, but we were assured that if the Fiesta ST does go to production, it would be for all markets.
They'd be buffoons not to put this into production.
They would be so stupid. But the thing is, we've seen this car testing for a long time now. Like
under camo.
Yeah, spy shots and everything. We've seen Fiestas with big wheels and, big exhaust testing. So it's in the works. We just have to wait it out.
Does that mean we're actually going to get the 3-door here?
See, that's the
No.
thing I was speculating about is if it came to the States, would it still be the 3-door?
Speculating. Who
I want
knows? Who knows?
I
Is there
want
currently a Fiesta ST, Mirko?
No, but there was one of the last generation
Yeah.
Fiesta. So that had the 2-liter, 155 horsepower, I think, naturally aspirated engine.
You could have
this
bought one
last-
of those.
Yeah, for really cheap.
And for terrible fuel economy.
Yes, so I didn't.
You could all the money you saved goes into the gas tank.
Yeah.
There you go. Just stuff those euros in there.
Runs on Euro.
So, Stephen, with that, you have brought us to our denouement of the show here.
Wrap it up, Craig.
I know we got 5 minutes and 8 seconds left. How do you like it? It's a real
Medium
humdinger.
rare, please.
So again, we thank Autoblog for compiling that awesome and exhaustive list of cars from just about everything at Frankfurt.
Oh, sure.
Oh, pshaw,
sure.
Craig. It was nothing. I only spent 5 days there. So we got to thank everyone. Eric Tritko, Rumblestrip.net, Rumblestrip on Twitter, Rumblestrip on Facebook, I guess. I don't know.
No, my real name.
No. What are you doing?
Real name.
Waiting for UPS to show up with my new supercharger.
And then the fun begins.
Oh, it'll only take about 40 minutes to put it on.
Well, no, I mean driving fun.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
it'll be nice to drive my car for the first time since late August. So,
How long you have to wait for it?
probably it'll be here mid to late next week.
Very nice.
All right.
Yes.
Stephen J. Ewing from Autoblog.
It's me.
Automotive Weblog. What, you're back. You
I'm
survived
back. I
your
just
trip.
got back yesterday.
Week
from
in
Frankfurt.
Deutschland. And
He's back. He's grumpy.
you've got it, Michelle. Crabosaurus Rex.
What time is it? The clock you're on, Steven, what time is it now?
What? Ask Mirko what time it
He's
is.
actually
Mirko?
there.
Mirko, what time is it where you are, which is what Steven is experiencing now?
2:08 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Ooh.
still running on 2:08 a.m.
But Mirko, are you grumpy?
Of course not.
No.
He's
and
peppy.
I'm
Even though
grumpy
I got
because
up-
I didn't go to bed until what would have effectively been 8:30 a.m. in Germany. Because
No,
confused.
you stayed
I'm
up
confused.
tweeting for a good hour and a half after I put you to bed.
Is that after he threw
Did
up?
he?
or-
no, I was up for a little while, and I shouldn't have been, but I'm all disoriented.
Yeah. Jet lag sucks. So, well, thank you, Stephen. Autoblog.com. Michelle Naranjo.
Should we
Yes,
plug?
sir.
Should we plug Lola?
That sounds
She's
Literally
terrible.
plug Lola.
Plug low. I see what you did. Ha ha ha. That's funny. Autobiddle.
Yes, it's the Auto Biddles. It's autobytella.com. Coming to you live. No, hi. I'm at work today. Can you tell?
Still
We
in
can.
the office. Yeah, it's 5 and it's quitting time, Michelle. We're right on schedule.
On a Friday. I know, isn't it great?
Yeah. I wouldn't know what having an early Friday is like, but yeah. So what are you working on?
Let's see. I've been up driving the Veloster this week, and I'm driving the Chevy Sonic next week.
I'll be at the
So-
Velocity run as well.
The Velociraptor.
Are you allowed to say what you thought of the Veloster yet?
I can talk about how cute it is.
So
I can't tell you
no.
how it drives.
Oh,
So thank you, Michelle, for making the long trip to your desk to be here today. We do appreciate it.
Thank you for having me,
Oh,
Craig,
it's our pleasure, Michelle. It's our pleasure.
in your Jesus blue shirt.
Jesus, that's blue.
Yes, it is. Mirko Reinhardt
Yes.
from up in Germany there. Northern Germany, no less. Where the air off the Baltic Sea, the North Sea is fresh and crisp, clear.
About 10 degrees Celsius right now.
Sounds uncomfortable.
That's not a lot of degrees Celsius. when you have 22 in Frankfurt on the same day.
Jeez. So you're at the cold end of the country.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So what would you like to plug here? I know everybody else's, but do you have anything you'd like to promote?
Autobot blog, maybe it could use some posts, but no, not seriously. I have nothing to plug today.
Well, you are our Roundabout North Central European correspondent. So I think you should suggest people visit roundaboutshow.com.
Now that you're saying it, visit roundaboutshow.com.
Thank you.
Genius. I think that's absolutely genius.
Best idea ever. Well, thank you, Mirko, for staying up so late. We
But
do
of course,
appreciate it.
we can follow Mirko at twitter.com/Mirko Reinhardt.
Something like
Once
that.
in a while, I tweet.
You're also
some
on the
stuff.
Facebook, too.
Yeah,
Friend
He's
him.
he's always on the Facebook.
Yeah, he is quite prolific.
All right, 30 seconds
Oh,
left,
so
Craig.
we better wrap this up. Ben, thank you as well.
You're welcome.
Don't miss your chance to win $100 by listening to Roundabout on your smartphone using Stitcher. Just go to Stitcher.com/Roundabout. Then, when you register your Stitcher account, don't forget to enter the promo code Roundabout. One lucky listeners, plural, will win $100 each month. Remember, you can watch Roundabout live every Friday evening starting at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time or 3:30 out on the West Coast. And don't forget to check out the rest of the Autoline family of fine programs, including Autoline This Week, Autoline After Hours, and, of course, Autoline Daily.
Didn't quite make it.
Well,
we
negative 8 seconds.
we
so-
dawdled. We dawdled.
We did. We declutched there. Anyway, we love hearing from your loyal fans. Drop us a number. Drop us a message on our Google Voice account.
Drop us a number.
Drop us a number. It's RoAB141.
Several numbers.
Yep. You combine the following numbers. Mirko, I'm sure you could even do this from Germany. 1559 RoAB411. In numerical numbers, that is 1559-762-2411. You give us a call on that. You leave us a message. We'll play it on the air. We'll try to answer your questions. We'd love to hear from you. Of course, we're on Twitter, twitter.com/Roundabout Show, Facebook as well, facebook.com/Roundabout Show. And if you never want to miss an action-packed episode of Roundabout, and frankly, who would? You can subscribe to this
Joe's
podcast.
got his phone out. Oh my god.
What is he showing us now?
That's excellent. It's his phone. And it's like a
That's my
legit.
phone.
Oh.
It's a
Rotodial.
yeah.
What do you have to do? Touch tone.
That was what a phone used to look like, Craigie.
Wow.
I thought they had a crank on the side, and they were mounted on the wall. Anyway, iTunes and Zune for subscriptions. Great. Keep track of us all the time. And with that, we are finished, folks. Please join us again next week as we circle the roundabout. We'll talk to you then.
Horse cocky.
Let's wait.
We made it. That was we
basically did.
we
Minute
set
and
out
a
to
half.
do 60
There's
cars
the
in 90
negative.
minutes, and we did it. So there
And
you go.
now Craig's bladder is full.
Yeah.
Thanks all.
Don't squeeze him, y'all.
Thanks
I did
for
it.
filling Craig's
enjoyed
bladder.
What's next? 90 cars in 60 minutes?
That's what we should try next. That'd
If
be
there's
insane.
ever an auto show where we have to cover 90 cars, I
How-
might.
What was the total, Steven?
75, but we actually ended up posting because we did multiple posts for some girls. We did 2 posts for the 911. We did 2 posts for the Fisker. We probably ended up posting about 80 something posts.
Yeah. Well, and
Well,
there
here it
was. Go ahead, Eric.
of live coverage. That doesn't include the original official shots that got released.
Oh, got you.
I was going to say, if you go to Shanghai, you could probably do 90 cars since there's 42 Chinese manufacturers. Manufacturers.
Yeah, but once you've covered one rebadged Toyota RAV4, you've covered them all. Or what was that one that was the front half was a last gen Equinox and the back end was a Lexus RX?
See, then you could do it and just have Michelle do voiceover for all minutia.
And then Stein.
Steven, did you see the old Equinox in Hell 4 on the Opel booth?
No, I didn't.
They had an old Chevy Equinox with an Opel badge on the grill, which was some kind of fuel cell.
Oh yeah,
car.
they have those in the States too. There's still last gen Equinoxes with
Running
different,
around.
with different
Without
air
Opel
intakes on the
badges.
front that are they're fuel cell vehicles.
Mhm.
By the way, for the yesterday, was it? I think it was yesterday. For the second time, I saw an undisguised next generation Escape in Dearborn.
Oh wow, how'd it look?
Looks good. It looks a lot like the whatever that concept they call the concept car.
The
this year.
Vertrek.
Yeah,
The Vertrek. Yeah, I mean it looks very similar.
I saw a bunch of Kugas in Germany.
Yeah, Cougars.
Wow.
They didn't have any on the Ford booth, or did they?
I didn't see any. My friends
Or
that I was
did
staying
they?
with picked me up in a Kia Soul.
Interesting.
Were they hamsters?
No, they're not hamsters.
Well, we should probably say thank you to the chat room, right, Craig?
I think we should.
Shout out to them.
Your battery life is 21%, Ben.
I know, because I never shut it off the whole show.
Jiminy
That's what I did.
Christmas.
That's what I did.
That's
for the show.
sacrifice.
That's
Your
dedication.
electric bill is going to go through the roof charging that thing.
Mm-hmm.
Chat room, we've got, well, 3 people to thank.
You're not going to thank us?
Well, thank you guys.
Oh, thanks.
Ben Slanders, Stephen Ewing,
Craig
Luke
Cole.
Cran Breaking, Luke in the chat. Thank you. He finally made it again for another show. Seems like it's been a while. Maybe it
Finally
hasn't.
again.
For the first
And
time. again.
Payuma.
Mirko
Who's
Reinhardt,
Payuma?
of course. Miss Motor Mouth or Miss Auto Bytel Mouth, depending
Miss
on what
Mortgage
day of the
Mouth.
week. Miss something horse cocky, or whatever the other site was, which we cannot repeat.
Yeah, we're not allowed to say that.
We can't say that one.
Mud Monster was there as well. Piuma? Who's that? Is that one of your friends, Mirko?
I have no idea.
Is Steffi in the other room with her iPhone chatting?
No. Payuma's was on before. He's Italian
Oh,
Oh.
I'm sure we're saying it wrong.
or something like that.
Hi, Payuma.
Piuma?
Piuma.
If you're in the chat,
Who are
spell
you?
it phonetically for us.
And tell us who you are.
Yes.
We want names.
We don't like strangers in the chat room.
We want a headshot.
300-word bio.
Give us your MySpace picture.
Hi, Payuma.
And Scott in Cleveland, the original recipe, Scott in Cleveland, 11 herbs and spices.
Extra crispy.
That's it.
That's it. That's all it showed up. But we had about we had quite a few viewers at one point.
Cobalt.
There's a Cobalt and a Jetta that just pulled up. I wonder what
How
drug
many viewers?
addiction stuff is going on here.
There were like 15 at one point.
Wow.
Jetta.
It could have
15.
been my coworkers being wondering why I was yelling at you to
Herbs
speed
or
up.
herbs? Good
There's-
question, Luke.
There's Lola.
They're coming to tow away my Fiat.
Well, there you go. I think that's a show.
I believe it
Folks.
is.
Scott in Cleveland. Yeah, I got a KFC right across the street, so there you go.
Cran Breaking says herbs or herbs.
Pick your poison. It doesn't.
Oops.
That's how the British
Peaches?
say it. Herbs.
All right,
Or at least
folks.
James May.
It's been a good one. We will talk to you later.